From Las Vegas, Nevada and Indianapolis, Indiana, welcome to Out of the Box with John and Tony. Now here's the host of the show, Tony Scott. Man, we're back again on a Monday. July 2nd. Hey, dude, I look very patriotic to you guys. I know it's not the 4th of July, but it's coming up. And speaking of 4th of July and fireworks, man, they're cracking down. They want you to call like 311 to anybody who's firing off fireworks that fly. That they're just going to not really arrest you, but they're going to fine you. And the hefty fine, and, you know, if you want to pop up a couple bottle rockets and pay $1,000, well, go ahead and do so. Anyway, I'm Tony Scott, the host here of Out of the Box. Today, interesting subject, guys. This is creation versus evolution. That is a hot topic, hot debatable topic. And we're not here on this show to debate anything on the creation versus evolution. We're just here to try to help us to understand why you would believe in evolution versus creation. Like I said, we're not going to debate anything, but this is going to be an interesting subject. We're going to talk about what we got on the agenda there. We got Darwin, we got Ernest Haeckel, we got the Galapagos Islands, the finches. We got some actually we got some good examples for you guys. Actually, you don't have to show that yet. Get rid of all that. Get back. Show that later. Thanks. We got a lot of stuff. It may end up. I got it set on a website, our website, as a two-part series. We may end up going 2 parts. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. For, you know, as far as examples go, as far as creation goes, as far as evolution goes, why the evolution model doesn't work, and why the creation model actually works a lot better, and there's a lot more evidence for physical and visionary evidence that supports creation versus the evolutionary model. Anyway, joining me here today is my good friend John Allen from Indianapolis, Indiana. John, how you doing?
Hey, doing great, Tony. Doing great out here in Indy, and love the subject. And you're right. July 4th is coming up. It's only 2 days. It's hard to believe this summer's almost half over already. And yeah, I like what you're supporting, the American flag, you know, Old Glory there. And I thought, well, I'd go back to my motorcycle days and do the same here with the do-rag. So there we go. But yeah, things are going great out here, and you know, always do the forecast. So I guess we got the graphic on the bottom. I don't know. Anyway, the Indianapolis forecast, it is 98 degrees and hot. So I don't know if it's as hot as Las Vegas, but we're right on your tail, my friend. on the heat. We got a heat wave out here. But yeah, creation, evolution. Personally, I believe in creation. So, but like I said, it's a hot topic, and we're going to dive right in there. So I'll send it back out to you in Las Vegas.
Oh, well, thank you, John. Appreciate that. The weather here, I don't know. It's about 100. I can't see I can't see the clock. Well, I can see the clock. Yeah, I had a problem with my eye. I don't know what got into what in the world it was, but vision was all blurry. I was so sensitive to light and all that stuff, and I had to take some time off work and see the eye doctor and take the eye stuff, and I can't see anything. I can see what time it is. Anyway, that's not the whole point. Evolution. So why would you believe in evolution when evolution actually requires an extensive amount of time? So we would like to figure out how much time you actually need. And throughout some of the reading that I've done, it's looking like you need millions of years. Okay, well, let's stop right there. In the creation model, the earth was, that's my dogs. The earth is created, the earth is basically about 6,000 years old. So we'll just revert that back to the evolutionary community and say, okay, you have exactly 6,000 years you got 6,000 years. And unfortunately, they're unable to do that. They need millions of years. And if you go back, you can only go back 6,000 years. How can you possibly go back 1 million years when you're not afforded that time? You can't go back that far. That's kind of stumped me anyway. So in evolution, like I said, it requires an extensive amount of time, in the millions of years, that something can, and they believe that something is evolved throughout a period of millions of years. You couldn't even prove that to me anyway. I don't see how you could even get that. Speaking of, say the Grand Canyon was made in 1 million years. Well, that's not true. That's not true either. The Grand Canyon was probably made in about a few days to a few weeks. So I don't get the millions of years. And I've watched, and I invite everybody to go to Ken Hoven's website, Ken Hoven, the official, I think it's called. Check out his YouTube. Just Google Ken Hoven and then go to YouTube and search out Ken Hoven. He does a good series on that, because he's definitely against evolution. He doesn't see how anybody could believe that you as a human being came from a rock. They got to be careful with the rock thing. But how you could develop as a human being coming from a rock is unknown to me. I don't know. Even when you look at throughout time, evolution has apes, and throughout the history, and call history periods of time, millions of years, that ape has developed into the human being, which can't be. I don't see how you would believe that. If two people came into the world and were created, we start from there. We start from the two people that were created. So now they have kids, their kids have kids, their kids have kids, and so on and so on. And then the flood came. Then you have Noah and his sons, his wife, and their sons' wives, 8 people, who had the opportunity again by God, say, multiply the earth. Where is this ape come in? Where does that come in? Where does that even fit in? It doesn't fit in. I don't see how that fits in. I think number 2 is what we got to keep in mind is, if we indeed came from apes, then we would see that today. We would see 2 apes that would copulate, and out would come one of us, a human being. But we don't see that. So again, why would you believe in that is far beyond me. I think the other day I watched, again, I think it was, I wish I would have wrote his name down. I just watched it last night. John Ball does something on creation, and I invite you to Google John Ball, YouTube. YouTube this guy. He's got something very, very interesting to say. What started the evolutionary theory comes from Charles Darwin. Now, Charles Darwin, he set sail in the 1830s to the Galapagos Islands. Now, those Galapagos Islands are just about 605 miles west of Ecuador. And it flourished very well with plant life and birds. And Charles Darwin was fascinated with these finches. So there was a multitude of a variety of finches, and he came to the conclusion that they were all somehow related. Well, they are related. They're related to a bird. They're not related to example, because I don't know what other animal life would be on the island. But if there was, say, a pig on the island, okay, well, Charles, is that pig somehow related to the finch? It can't be. It can't be. How you get that is beyond me. But one thing that struck me about what I think his name was John, it might be Carl, I don't know. It got me thinking now. One thing that he said that during that time when Charles Darwin was out and about, writing his book called The Origin of Species that came out in 1859, about the species becoming, he talks about the natural selection. At that time, there were a lot of people that were tired of the church and the church telling them how to live their lives, which makes sense to me to say, okay, let's erase the creator and just go with evolution. It makes sense. And along with Charles Darwin, there was another guy. His name was Ernest Hawkins. Now, Ernest liked and supported what Charles Darwin was doing. Now, he was an artist, believe it or not. He was an artist over in Germany. He took embryos and drew these embryos, 7 different kinds of embryos, and he drew them, and we have those here on the screen for you guys. Now, on the top row is what Ernest drew, and on the bottom row is the actual embryo itself. So now, as you can see, that they're different. He has them all the same, and he had to do that in order to help Charles Darwin support Charles Darwin's theory on evolution based on natural selection. That doesn't work. Believe it or not, those drawings are fraudulent, and he was taken to court in a court in Jena, and was tried and found guilty, but they don't have any evidence of the court data. But there was, he was actually charged by 5 different professors of fraud. And then, of course, he was convicted by a university court at Jena. There actually is no evidence of that. But then again, they could have said, well, we'll suppress this so no one finds out. But lo and behold, somebody knew about it. So I think from Darwin and Haeckel, that's how we get to now of the evolutionary movement, which you can date back now to them, and that's where it started. And believe it or not, when I looked up Ernest, believe it or not, he was an atheist. So that just tells me right there that, yeah, you're not going to believe in creation if you're an atheist. You're a polytheist. You believe in multiple gods. Monotheism is the belief in one God. God creates Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve flourish. Forget the sin part. They just multiply and have more kids. What did they do? Multiply and have apes? Then the apes kind of had kids? It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. So we really need to understand in the schools today, if you're teaching an evolutionary model, you're teaching the wrong thing. And if there's any kids out there that happen to run across this show, I would definitely encourage you to say, wait a minute, prove to me that what you're teaching in this class of evolution is true. And of course they don't do that. No one's ever come forth and did that. And I think another thing, and of course, Ernest Haeckel's drawings are still being reprinted today, and they're still in the textbooks. A textbook full of lies. I don't think that if I had kids, I don't think I'm going to send them through a school that has textbook full of lies. I think I would want to tell them the truth. Why people? It's the evolutionary part of it doesn't work for me. I think it's false. I think you made it up. You need time to let something evolve, because you evolve into something else, and something just doesn't evolve. And I'll give you an example here in just a bit. But you need that time, millions of years. You made it up. You're saying, okay, I need 1,000,000 years. Okay, well, you only got 6,000. Well, I need 1,000,000, so we're just going to say 1,000,000. Well, okay, it's not going to work that way. It doesn't work that way. And John, what do you think about what do you think about evolution versus creation, just in a nutshell?
In general?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, really, as far as creation goes, well, when I was a kid, I first believed in creation. That was the thing I believed in. Then, as you said, as we got into school, they started teaching evolution. That, the Big Bang Theory and then rocks, explosions, and it created this the fusion things, which caused bacteria to start growing, which caused, the amoebas and all down the road. And then walking creatures to apes to me, And really, my thoughts on it is, like you said, with the time thing, it would just, I've heard various interviews, and even scientists too, guys. So it's not like we're throwing science out. This is scientific analysts that say, and scientists themselves that say, it would virtually be impossible. It's almost mathematically and equationally impossible to have all the life forms, the different life forms that we have on this planet, through an evolution type of course. And I've actually heard scientists say that. And so if you put the whole, whatever you believe in, you believe in the creation aspect of it, if you don't believe in that, you got to at least believe these scientists that say mathematically it's impossible to create everything that we created. It would take not millions but zillions of years. And I've actually heard those quotes. So, and the thing is too, about creation, okay, versus evolution. Like you said, sensitive subject, but don't you think that you had to have something create something? In other words, you got, some created a piece of wood, and so in other words, I believe personally that something has to create existence in general. Something had to create the existence. It just didn't happen by coincidence. And because you talk to people that believe in evolution, they say, well, this just happened it's just chance. They say it's just chance. It just happened. And you say, how did it happen? They go, well, it just did. The Big Bang Theory, blah, blah, blah. They say it just happened. Well, to me, there's no such thing as it just happened. To me, and that's as far out as people saying, well, you believe that a God created everything. To me, there's no difference in the way you're presenting that. To me, it makes more sense that a superior being, or some type of intelligent being, whether it's God or whatever you believe, I personally believe in God, started everything. Period. As simple as that. Started the creation processes. I mean, if we take the time thing out of it and all that, and we just go back to the scientists that said, several scientists, that said mathematically it's almost impossible to create all the DNA that's in every living creature just on this planet alone. So that's what I got, Tony, as far as creation. That's why I believe in creation. Because it's going to take some really superior being, in my case God, and intelligent, very intelligent, knows what's going on. You know, the all-knowing, right? Okay, it goes beyond what you and I can think of. To create everything that's here, it had to have some type of intelligent processes to create life, because simply just just by chance. Evolutionists think everything happened by chance. I just don't believe that. So, really, that's what I got on that. That's what I have basically in a nutshell. I just don't think everything developed by chance. And that's what I got, Tony, on that. I don't know if you want to add to that.
Well, you mentioned an equation, and the other day, last night, I was watching Mr. Ball talk. That mathematical equation, and I do believe I got this right. The chances of you evolving through the natural selection process are 10 to the 40,000th power. That's right.
Yeah.
That's it. You get one chance. And that chance is 10 to the 40,000th power. It's not happening. Here's an example of the 10 to the 40,000th power. Just think of a whirlwind sweeping down onto the planet, going through a junkyard of crap, scrap metal and crap, coming out the other end, going through the junkyard, assembling a 747, coming out the other end flying. That is 10 to the 40,000th power. It's never going to happen. So that's, when you said that mathematical, that's true. You hit it on the nail. That's right. It's huge.
Yeah.
I don't see how they got that. I mean, to be honest, I really don't know. And you did show that tree branch, and
Oh yeah, I could go back to that.
Take us some time. Let's go through a couple examples just for everybody.
Okay, real quick, guys. All right, guys. This is just a simple branch, a tree. Okay, it's made by nature, made by God. It's nature, right? So. Okay, a piece of wood. This also is a piece of wood. This is a replica Cherokee bow, which I actually made, by the way. Plug my bows, I make bows. Anyway, this is a Cherokee bow, which is made of wood. Okay, it's made of wood. And so basically, and I'm not trying to be a ass to say it bluntly, but evolutionary wise, guys. If you believe in evolution, this turns into this after so many millions of years or whatever. Okay, you're probably thinking, well, no, it doesn't, because it's wood, and the wood evoluted from grass or whatever, or some other type of plant, and man made the bow. Well, yeah, that's true. But if you believe in evolution, but the point I'm trying to make is this: this was created. This was created. Why can't this be created? Okay? Oh, I'm not smart enough to create this, but there might be somebody like God that has the means to create this, and he gave me enough brains to create this. Okay? So that's one example. Another example is this, guys. Okay, going back to the ape thing, okay, with Darwin thought that we came from apes. Think about this simply, very simple, because I'm a common sense type guy. I'm just an average Joe, right? In my case, Joe, whatever, John. Okay. The point I'm trying to make is Darwin says we come from apes. We came from apes, right? Okay, if we came from apes, why do we still have apes here on the planet? Because everything else prior So they said, well, the apes, we came from apes. Okay, they came from this little, it came from a type of mammal that crawled on all fours and then started going upright and started walking upright and then going to this species that walked upright, and the brain started getting bigger and lolly, 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 da, right? Okay, well, there's skeletons that prove that there's different species, but that's my point. I just think those were different species. Okay, I don't think we came from those species, really. I think they're just species on their own, right? We could be a cousin to them, but we're not them, okay? And because if we derived from apes, we would not have the gorilla, chimpanzees, and various primates on the planet today. They would be gone because we would have taken their place. Because we would have evolved, if you believe in evolution, we evolved from the apes. So the apes would be gone because we've evolved from them. That species would be gone, right? That species is not gone. That species is still here. And another thing, not to be sounding too gross or anything, but you were talking about the copulation or copulation. Basically, man cannot impregnate a primate. Okay, so if the creatures came from each other and they were closely related, we could have babies, but we can't with apes, right? We can't. So scientifically, DNA doesn't mix. It doesn't work. So that's why I disbelieve the evolution thing. That kicks that out. Now people say, well, they've crossbred horses with zebras and whatnot. Yeah, that's true. But then again, you're talking they're all horses. It's a species of a horse. Like a dog is a dog is a dog. Like Tony was saying, him and I in a private conversation. There's a lot of breeds of dogs out there, but they're all dogs. When you come right down to it, they're all dogs. There's lots of species of human beings, but we're human beings. We're not apes. So that's the point I'm trying to make right there. As simple as that sounds, that's really where I'm coming from. I think apes would be like non-existent if we came from the ape. They wouldn't be on the planet today. That's my thoughts, Tony. You have any thoughts on that?
I believe that. That's makes you hit it on the kind of hit the nail on the head. Because if we did evolve from apes, there would be no apes left. So yeah, I mean that does make a lot of sense. Even with the stick of wood and the bow proves it was created from something. I got that part. I got that. And get this. This is something I want you guys to think about. But we're all going to go to the store, right? We're going to get a nice little lump of clay. Okay? And we're going to set it on a here, we'll just get a couple of these tables here. A couple of these tables, set them side by side. Of course, I don't have the model of clay, but okay. We put the clay here, right? Now just go to the store. Hey, go to the store, get me a nice vase that was made from this clay. You probably know where I'm going. Set it on the next table. All right, we're going to come back in about 1,000,000 years, and we're going to just see if that clay evolved into that vase. And I bet you 10 out of 10 times, 10 out of 10, that didn't happen. Now the clay would probably dry up throughout time and dissipate into nothing. And of course, who knows what happened to the vase. The vase could probably get destroyed by the weather, but all I'm trying to say is the clay is not going to magically morph into this vase over any period of time. I don't care if it's 1 day or 1 trillion days. It's not going to happen. Keep that in mind, and let me give you another one. Let me give you one more that's similar to the vase. Take a piece of metal. Now take a horseshoe. I can stop right there because you guys know where I'm going. The piece of metal, no matter how long you take, is not going to morph into this horseshoe. Who made the vase from the clay? Who made the horseshoe from the metal? Somebody created it. Somebody created it. And Johnny said a good thing about the tree, about the bow. God creates a person with the ability to make a bow from the tree or to make a house from the tree. Oh, get this. You guys are going to love this. We're all going to go to the forest. We're hitting the jungle. We're hitting the jungle. And no, that's not Oh, what the hell's that rock band?
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses, yeah. I'm a metalhead. You can tell I got nice long blonde hair. I can't remember. I can't remember those bands that saved my hiney. We're all going to the jungle, right? And millions of years from now, that jungle is going to be nothing but a huge conglomerate of buildings and houses. In a million years. Well, 10. Million's not long enough. Okay, let's go 10. Well, wait, hey. 10's not long enough. Let's go 20. Okay, now that's one side of the coin. My motto is there's two sides of the coin. Okay, that could happen even sooner. That can happen sooner. That can happen in 20 years. Oh, yeah. Now, that forest turned into nothing. Check out evolution. Evolution at work. Nope, doesn't work. Somebody cut those trees down, milled them into some wood, 2x4s, whatever you want to call them, 2x4s respectively to houses, and got some other people together, and they built all these houses from that forest. Check out. That's evolution at work right there, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not. It's somebody created it.
Exactly.
Somebody created it. You know, another thing.
Sarcastic.
Another thing, John. Being that both of us come from the music world, let's just go through. Let's just take music, and instead of rewinding music back, because music goes all the way back to thousands of years ago, we'll just take the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s grunge. All right, music from the 50s. What we have today evolved. The music we have today evolved from the 50s. You got to think about that. You got to think. It don't take much. I mean, grant you, humans are stupid. I guess I just called myself stupid. And I'm good. I know that we're stupid. And some of us are very intelligent. And we here and out of the box, we're just like, we're out of the box. We're thinking stuff that you guys are going, man, where'd these guys come up with this stuff? The 50s doo-wop. What has evolved into the 90s grunge? Okay, so, that's evolution. I got it. That could be evolution. Is there any similarities between the 50s and the 90s grunge? Is there any similarities between the two? And speaking of similarities, the evolutionary community had no other choice when they're getting bogged down and they're losing the race. They go, we got to find some similarities. Let's go find some similarities in the DNA and then say that's evolution. Are there similarities in the music between the 50s and the 90s grunge? Oh, you bet there is. Yes, there is. That's evolution. Still doesn't work, folks. Somebody in a three-piece band in the 50s created that style.
Right. Yeah.
Now let's just go over here to the 90s. We can skip all the middle stuff. Somebody in a four-piece band, five-piece band, a six-piece band said, let's make some stuff up. And they did, and it came out to be grunge. So the music didn't evolve along this pathway of, 90 years or whatever, 50, 60, 70, 90, 40 years a span or whatever. It was created in stages.
Reinvented, recreated. Yeah, recreated.
Right. I hope that makes sense. I try to make sense with everything. I'm not crashing well, I am kind of crashing the evolutionary community, but I'm not bashing you. I'm just saying that you guys come up with two words, and you're always two words. It's the only thing you can. What if? Yeah, but what if? Yeah, but what if what? What do you mean, what if? We're not talking about what if. You have this amount of time. You can't, what if? What if what?
Right.
Like I said, those are the examples that I wanted to bring out. you know, I like the forest in the houses. The clay in the vase was the biggest one. I think that was the first one, guys, that I thought of, and I was trying to think, how can I portray this on video? You know, besides, I would love to gone out and gotten a piece of clay and gotten a vase and said, okay, we're going to sit here. I hope this camera can run for 1 million years. We'll see what happens at the end. and you guys, it doesn't work, and it kind of befounds me. It's not. I don't know what. I kind of sound frustrated, right? But it's not really frustration, not being pissed, mad, whatever, upset, disappointed. It's just that it's mind-boggling how you want to believe in evolution. And by the way, when Ernest was convicted of that fraud, believe it or not, he withdrew from the church. I got to throw that in there. He's an atheist. Got to throw that in there as well. So, you guys, take a look at it. You know, like I said, we're not here to debate it. We gave you some prime examples, and keep going. We could keep going. I was talking to John the other day. I wanted to get this example, but you would never see it on camera. The human has an eye. Go to your wife's sewing kit or your great-great-grandma's sewing kit. Go get me a needle. Does it have an eye? Oh, it has an eye. Hey, look, John, we came from a needle.
Yeah.
How funny is that, though? The similarities. It doesn't work. You guys, it doesn't work. And I want to move you guys off the creation. I wanted to do this creation thing simply because I want out of the box to keep growing and moving in a different direction. You know, not really religion direction, but you know, the prophecy. John wanted to do prophecies and stuff. And all that stuff, and the only way to move into a different direction, the one that I think John and I really would like to do, is we got to get through the creation, evolution. We got to take the pencil, and we got to just erase the evolution part because it doesn't work. The creation works even much better. I like that, and it's called glorification. The creation that God created for everybody. He's the one that created. He's glorify God in His creation, not us in destroying it. We don't deserve any glorification at all. What else did I have here? Kind of lost. I didn't get real sidetracked here, but oh, you know, one thing we should do as far as evolution goes is do a small snippet on the support for evolution. And there's one way to do it.
Yeah.
The only way that I could support evolution is through the birth of a child. Got to think about that, because it is true. I'm not saying evolution doesn't exist. It does in the birth of a child. So you have an embryo in a mother's womb. That, over a period of 1 million years, develops into a child. Well, we all know that ain't true, but it does develop into a child in the short time span of 9 months.
Right, exactly.
So it's not created. It somewhat is created. It is created in the womb, but
right.
it evolves from the small, minute embryo it is into, you know, however, 9-pound baby, 7-pound baby. What's your average? 7 pounds?
Yeah, average.
That is a good support, and the only support that I would have through evolution.
It's a transformation.
Right,
so, which is kind of like which is kind of, you know, what the evolutionists think. It's transformation into this type of being, into this type of being, and it turns into this type of being, and so on and so forth. But you know, getting back real quick, I got a point. This is why I'm on the creation part of it, because everything has to start from something. Okay, even if you believe in evolution, okay, it started from something. Something started it. Something had to control that. It just, I go back to it again and again and again. The main thing I think about as far as creation goes is like, okay, something had to create this planet, the universe, everything. And we go back to the mathematical theories that the scientists presented, and that's science. They said, you know, mathematically, it's impossible to have all this life forms and these different life forms just on this planet alone. It would take zillions of years, and it would take so much coincidence or whatever that the planets, so to speak, would have to be aligned so perfect for all this to happen. So I'm just thinking, you know, it's got to be created. Okay, if you don't believe in God, that's one thing. Tony and I believe in God. If you don't believe in God, that's your choice, right? We're not telling you what to do. We're not, like Tony says, we're not bashing your opinions. But think about this clearly. It has to be started by something, like a computer. We're using a computer to do this broadcast. Something created the computer. You know, electronic geniuses created the computer, right? Bill Gates. You know, the cell phone, everything is created. So why aren't we created? You know, if you believe in evolution, well, something started the evolution, something was created. So the bottom line is, I'm trying to say is, its creation is the bottom line. Creation started all of it. That's what I got, Tony.
I know, it is, you're right. I mean, somebody created it. Alexander Graham Bell created the first telephone, and then you move into today's society and we have cell phones. So is that evolution? I don't think so.
No.
I think throughout various parts of time, someone has come along, a creator has come along and created something.
Right. I agree with you 100%.
It's creation. I think I kept trying to wrap my head around the billions of years, millions and billions. So when you look, you can look at Scripture, and few parts of Scripture say God stretches the heavens out like a curtain. Okay, I'm trying to get to where you get the millions and billions. So he stretches it out. Okay, stars are made. Okay, we're here. We're the center. He stretches it out, and then all of a sudden, from the center, the Earth here, to a star out here, it takes millions of years to get there. And by that time you get there, okay, millions of years have passed. Just because it takes you 1 million or 2 million or 10 million or 20 million to get there doesn't necessarily mean that the Earth is that old.
Right.
I'm thinking that's
exactly.
probably where, when you mix science with creation, and science says, yeah, it's going to take you about 1 million years to get there. Oh, well, then the Earth must be 1 million years old. Oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I think that's where you guys got that from. I'm not sure. I mean, the person who did it, well, is dead now. Darwin's dead, so, you know, we can pretty much forget about him. Oh, by the way, for all you people out there that are heads of these universities and schools, go to the library, pull Darwin's book out, pull Ernest, and, you know, do me a favor, burn it. There you go.
Well, you know, Tony, like I said earlier, and I mean, I love you. It might be kind of boring to people, and kind of sounds basic, but it is basic when you think about it. If we came from apes or subspecies of ape, I would think there wouldn't be any apes left on the planet, or very little, or different.
Right.
Well, the thing is, if evolution is happening, how come human beings grow? We've been around and we're the same form for over thousands of years.
Right.
You had Neanderthal man. We came from Neanderthal man, part of us, and they're gone now, right? But we came from them, but they're gone.
Yeah, you know, I saw something.
So there's the point I'm trying to make real quick, Tony. We came from Neanderthal man. That's proof, and he's gone now. We came from Cro-Magnon man, and we're kind of the former Cro-Magnon man, right? And the thing is, real quick, the Neanderthal man's gone. Apes are not gone. Apes are still here. So apes would have been gone if it came from apes. And all of a sudden, too, if you look at it, too, and it's a science, guys. Neanderthal man was on the planet for a long time, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Cro-Magnon man, which is more like us.
Right.
Okay? Where did he come from? All of a sudden, he just appeared. He didn't evolve. He didn't evolve from the Neanderthal man.
Right.
He did not evolve from the Neanderthal man, Tony. He was on his own. He's a species on his own. He did not come from the ape or Neanderthal man. Okay, so there's another point I'm trying to make. Think about that one. Wrap your brains around that one. Someone created the Cro-Magnon man, guys. That's what I gotta say. And I don't know if I have time. We just got 15 minutes.
Yeah,
I just want to share this real quick. Hey guys, we're just touching the subject, and by no means Tony and I are experts, but we just want to open your minds to it. But anyway, if you want to go further, go to our Facebook page, and I have posted 2 videos that you guys can watch in depth and listen to these guys. They know what they're talking about. It's Institution for Creation and Research and Evidence for Creation by Outside Intervention. Go to our Facebook page. The videos are up. All you got to do is click it and hit it. And then there's 2 books I'd like to share too. And it's called The Kingdom of Speech by Tom Wolfe. He's kind of an eccentric guy, but it's an interesting book. And Darwin's Doubt by Dr. Stephen Meyer. Just want to plug those 2 guys. Go there, go to our Facebook website, and you guys watch these videos. And after you watch them, I watched them. They're very good. I think you're going to get a clear sense of how we think of why we think of creation. So. And Tony, looks like you got a plane.
Well, you know, yeah. There's that piece of paper I was reading my show notes on.
Yeah.
Just miraculously evolved, and check it out, an airplane. That happened, you guys. That happened in less than a freaking 5 minutes. There is an airplane. I cannot believe this evolved. I'm loving evolution. You know, I'm going to have to take some stuff back. I think evolution exists.
Yeah.
But I guarantee, if you rewind the tape, I bet you saw me make this, didn't you?
Great.
I am the creator. Who created that? You know, you speak on Neanderthal. You know, that's kind of funny, because it is kind of serious. That's kind of funny, and I wasn't going to say anything about the Bible or anything like that, but that's going to roll that into part 2, maybe even part 3. But you said Neanderthal man, and believe it or not, somebody mentioned Neanderthal man last night and mentioned the Book of Job.
Oh, really?
We're just going to have to take a look at it.
Let's dive into that, because I know nothing about those 2.
Because John did say it had to have been created. So,
not me,
well, Neanderthal man had to have been created. Right. It doesn't evolve from anything. Somebody created it.
Yeah.
So, my question is now I got questions. Okay, well, wait a minute. If Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve, they kind of bumped the rug there in between the sheets of the bed, and they're having kids, and then their kids obviously had kids with their siblings, but God kind of straightened that out about 1,000 years later. Okay. Now we have a planet full of freaking people. They're all evil. God goes, I can't believe I made you mutts. Oh, by the way, Noah, there's a flood coming in about 120 years. Wrap it up, folks. Wrap it up. Get the boat built. So they get the boat built. 150 days after the flood, the waters recede. Go out there, make some new people. Okay, so Noah, his wife, they're not Neanderthal. Okay, let's see. It's hemp, and Noah's Bo, Curly, and Larry. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm terrible with the names, but those three sons, okay. I don't see any of them kind of Neanderthalic. The three wives, well, they're not Neanderthalic. I did read something on one of Noah's sons who migrated over to the Asian Empire part of the world, actually started that race, the Asian race. Unbelievable. I'm not sure how true that is.
Yeah.
But okay, so where did Neanderthal man come from?
That's a good question. But he was here. I mean, he was here. He was on the planet.
It's interesting. We did have this as a part 2 series. Maybe we'll move into the Neanderthal, because I saw last night on another. I'm a YouTube fanatic. I'm looking at evidence of Neanderthal skulls, right? Skulls. Check this out.
Yeah.
Neanderthal. Well, where'd you get that from? I'm thinking.
And he was intelligent. Yeah.
Right. He's
They say he
intelligent. They are intelligent. They actually they performed surgery and all that stuff, and it came from somewhere. I don't know. Did God go? I'm not telling these guys. Neanderthal. Maybe he breathed Neanderthal, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because you look at the races, okay, where did everybody come from? You got Adam and Eve, and all of a sudden now you got Adam and Eve and Eskimos. Well, they're not even visually. When you look at the American Indian and then the Eskimo and then us as Caucasians, and we're going, yeah, you guys kind of look kind of funny. You look different, but okay, all right. I'm just saying. I mean, you look at the hundreds of species of dogs, right? But they're all related to this one dog. Got it. Maybe somehow throughout time we just kept multiplying into these different unions and countries, and then how we ever changed physically and even emotionally is beyond me, but I guess we did. I mean,
and like, not to knock evolution too much, they might be onto something as far as that goes, but it always goes back to creation to me, anyway.
Well,
okay, like I got subspecies of dogs. We probably have subspecies of human beings, and that could be done by time and environment. The one type of dog who lived in a certain environment, so his body changes to acquire and to sustain, to live in the environment that the animal's in. Same with the humans. But the bottom line is, so that part of evolution might be, correct, as far as that's what you want to call it, the subspecies. But the bottom line is, with me anyway, is God created it all.
Oh, exactly.
So it's still, the bottom line is, again, creation.
Right.
We didn't come from a rock. I didn't come from a stick, guys. Okay.
Right.
There's lots of trees. There's lots of different kinds of trees, right? There is. Like, there's different human beings. There's different types of dogs. But at the end of the day, a stick is a stick. A dog is a dog. A human is a human. And listen, guys,
true.
An ape is an ape. I am not an ape. Some people might think I'm an ape. Like I said in the plug, but I'm not an ape.
How did Charlton Heston say that line? Get your hands off me, you filthy ape.
Yeah.
Hey, believe it or not, guys, we even might be onto something. We might have just stumbled onto something we're going to have to take a look at. Is Genesis 6.
Yeah.
We might be onto something, folks. If we can't explain some of the things that we can't explain, could be explained through the fall of these angels who fell out of heaven, saw the daughters of men were fair, and took wives for themselves, and then had those kids. Maybe that's where they came from.
Well, Tony, it's so deep. This subject's so deep, but like I said, we can spend a couple episodes on it. And you compare the biblical text and what was written in history, and then you take science, and there's no reason why the two can't mesh together. Science is, there's no, I mean, people say, well, faith, is crazy and all that. And science, some of science can be crazy too. And there's a lot of science that you can't see with your eyes that's there. It's physically there, like the air we breathe and stuff like that. We just have faith the air is going to be there. So, I mean, there's no reason why they can't coexist. And actually, they intertwine.
Right.
But we'll get into that because we only got 5 minutes left. But
Yeah,
we're
we
just
should.
starting to touch the subjects on this creation evolution. And it goes really deep. A lot of our subjects are deep. I mean, if you really think about it, there's a lot of questions. I know there's a lot of questions.
I know one thing I'll mention that I talked to you about the other day is I watched a program. That program actually got me thinking. They're digging through about 2 miles of ice. Okay, drilling through 2 miles of ice. What they pull up that they said was now we just dug through 10,000 years. Okay, wow, how'd you get 10,000 years? How do you get that without just saying 10,000 years? You dig 2 miles, so 2 miles equals 10,000 years? But I watched it. I'm gonna have to try to find that program, and it got me thinking. I said, well, wait a minute, they might be onto something, but you just said 10,000 years. If you only have 6,000, where did you get the other 4? So it just goes back to, it reverts me back to you're just saying it. 10,000. But
Yeah,
they are stuck on it. They were so stuck on that 10. I'm thinking, I don't know. You guys I have no clue where you got the 10,000, even the 100,000, who knows? And they say, okay, well, there's a tree well, no, I'm not going to get into the tree. Forget about that. That's 4,000 years old. Anyway, yeah, no, but we could be on to something. Like I said, you guys, it's a hot topic. It's very debatable, and I'm not here to debate anybody. I'm just here to say you guys might want to rethink your
Right.
strategy, I guess.
Yeah, just rethink it. Keep an open mind. Give creation a chance. I mean, look at evolution too, and I've looked at evolution. And like I said, when I was a kid, real quick, I thought that, okay, things were created, then it just evoluted from the creation. And I never really thought that the two were separate in a sense. I thought, okay, God created all these species, and then they kind of evolved throughout the years a little bit according to environments that they live in. But separating species, hardcore species, like Darwin, that we came from an ape, to me, is not right. That's not true.
Right.
Because like I said, the apes would not be here today if we came from an ape.
Right. You got to look at that.
I know some of us act like monkeys, but yeah, I don't think we can.
You got to look at that logically.
My humble opinion, and but yeah, we got a lot of show. We got 2 more. We got to talk about this 2 more episodes, and yeah, it's a very interesting subject. And again, just real quick before I end, go to our Facebook page if you guys want to check out the 2 videos I posted on our site. And the site, just go to Facebook. It's actually under the John and Tony Show, an alternative way of thinking. So to get to the Facebook, you have to do that. We tried to change it to Out of the Box, but somebody already grabbed that and we couldn't change the title. So it's just the John and Tony Show, like what it was when we started this podcast. But I'm done, Tony, man. It's been a good show. A couple minutes, man. I'll let you carry it out, my friend. We'll catch you. Have a great 4th of July, everybody.
Right on. We appreciate it. Yeah, this, like I said, guys, is a hot topic. It's debatable, and I'm not here to debate anybody. I'm not here to change your mind. You're the only one that can change your mind. I can only give you some tidbits and some information on, say, hey, listen, you might want to rethink it. You didn't come from an ape. If you came from an ape, you'd still be coming from apes. You got to look at the millions of years. Where did that ever come from? Millions. You don't have millions, you have thousands. And the only reason you would have, that I can think that you would have millions of years, is someone who doesn't believe in the creation, which is obvious. And someone who doesn't believe in the creation would not believe in God, become an atheist. So Ernest, he's an atheist. So it's no wonder he supported the Darwinian, his movement on evolution, and his withdrawal from the church is a sure sign that it's a shame that he doesn't believe in what God actually created for us. He created the whole entire thing for us. He saw the evil, all the evil, and he had to come back down and do something. That evil was caused by the fall of Satan, and he's down here trying to thwart the plan of God, and it's not going to work. The Bible says it's that we win anyway. So the evolution doesn't work. It's we're going to go. We got to be able to tie evolution and the creation and evolution, instead of putting the verses in there. I think we, like John says, they can. I'm pretty sure it can coexist, and there are. The big example of evolution was the birth of a child, and I'm going to leave it at that. So next week, make sure you join us for part 2. We're going to get down to a little bit more. We'll touch base on some stuff that we already talked about, and try to get some video stuff for you guys to watch, and check out the description of this video. I'm going to try to throw in some stuff on creation that you guys would definitely be interested in watching, and all that stuff. And we hope that you have a fantastic week. The next show is the 16th. So you guys join us on the 16th for part 2 of creation versus evolution. For John Allen, I'm Tony Scott. We'll see you next episode.